Welcome, my dear, to the cozy house of enchantment. Come inside, I'll pour you some tea. Evelyn walked slowly and suspiciously through the wooden gate into the autumn garden that encircled the cozy and enchanting small cottage. In the corners of Evelyn's eyes, she swore she saw flickers of light and rustling of bodies among the echinacea, tomato plants, and speckled golden, brown, and red leaves. The air was light and crisp. She had a feeling come over her of gentleness and kindness, mixed with wonder and fascination. It was afternoon, and she stumbled upon this cottage while enjoying an afternoon stroll through the forest. The little old lady was a complete surprise to see, as Evelyn was captivated in the abundant adornment of fungi sprouting up from the forest floor. It had been a dry spell, but just last week, her tiny village got 3 days of much-needed downpouring rain. It was clear the mushrooms were happy, as was Evelyn, for she considered the fungi her friends. She loses track of time and dimension while visiting with her fungi friends. She basically crawls on the ground, rarely looking up, and is as quiet as a mouse and as happy as a clam when out of nowhere, a tiny little elf-like lady with rosy cheeks and her hair tied up in a bun and with a long and colorful floral dress and apron said, "Hello, my dear." Evelyn looked up from the ferns and moss to a smiling, enchanting woman piercing down upon her, exuding friendliness, warmth, and cheer. Evelyn gasped with a startled expression and a tinge of embarrassment, suddenly hyper-aware of how she must look to a stranger crawling around with the mushrooms. As Evelyn walked through the mysterious lady's rambling garden, moving ever more closely to her thatched roof and salmon brick cottage that looked to be straight out of an English garden magazine or fairy tale storybook, she couldn't help but to smile at the beauty and charm of it all. As she approached the stepping stone path that led up to the idyllic stone arch door, she could have sworn her mushroom friends, purple brittlegill, frost amanita, golden spindles, and blue turkey tail, all those that she noticed that also outlined the stone path and arch, were winking at her as she passed by their fruiting bodies. She felt as if they had something to do with this chance encounter. She took the final steps while also brushing her gentle hands upon the lush, soft, and fragrant thyme, moss, and ivy. Evelyn walked through the arched doorway into the cottage, feeling as if she stepped inside a whimsical dream of splendid delight. The tea kettle started whistling, giving Evelyn another startle, this time causing her to spill out into a fit of spontaneous laughter. The little old lady joined in the glee, her laughter sounding like a nostalgic song, music from a music box that Evelyn's mother gave to her before she died last November, that her mother's father gave to her when she was young. This gave Evelyn the chills. She grounded herself through her senses, looking around and taking notice of the cottage core and shabby chic aesthetic. The cushions on the kitchen chairs were quilted florals, as were the few blankets draped about. Lace curtains blew softly in the windows that were open just a crack. Crystals hung in the windows, causing a cascade of pastel rainbow light to dance across the room. She smelled cinnamon and sugar. She looked over at the antique, majestic wood-burning oven to find a steaming cast-iron pan of freshly baked cinnamon rolls. Her mouth drooled at the sight and smell. As Evelyn took her hiking boots off at the door, she felt the soft knitted rug underneath her feet. She felt as if she never wanted to leave this place. She felt as if she stepped inside a home made just right for her, a splendid and charming soul home. "Shall we have our tea and cinnamon rolls in the sunroom?" the little old lady said in a quiet yet melodic, sweet voice. Yes, thank you, please, and thank you. Evelyn stumbled upon her words, not knowing what to say with so much hospitality and sweetness. They both let out a soft chuckle and grin as they made eye contact with each other. Evelyn saw a twinkle in the little old lady's eyes, similar to the twinkle in the fungi. I know that might sound crazy, but Evelyn spends a lot of time in the forest and has grown very close to the fungi world. She feels a special kinship with them that is difficult to explain to humans. They passed through another arched doorway, no door, into a quaint living room with a wood stove and bookshelves, no television. There was a simmer pot of fresh herbs from the garden boiling on the wood stove. From there, they stepped into a natural-lit four-seasons room, 3 walls being ceiling-to-floor windows. A wraparound couch Evelyn sank into when she sat down, with just enough support and softness to feel right at home. The little old lady poured a rose-orange-colored tea from a handmade ceramic teapot into small, handmade ceramic mushroom mugs. She handed Evelyn one that fit perfectly in her hands. She brought the aromatic mug up to her face, taking a deep inhale in through her nose. The steam smelled of hibiscus, rosebuds, and orange peel. She smiled a comforting, soft smile, closing her eyes to take this moment in. Gratitude filled the room from the love in Evelyn's heart. She opened her eyes and looked over at the sweet lady sitting beside her, holding an identical small mushroom mug. Evelyn asked if she made them. The elf-like lady nodded in recognition, but without saying any words. They sat drinking their tea and eating the mouth-watering, crispy and chewy cinnamon buns. The energy in the space was tender, cozy, and sweet, with hints of nostalgia and enchantment, and tones of deja vu and remembrance.